Hello, everyone. So sometimes I think a lot of us are, well, I don't know if it's even sometimes because we live in lack a good amount of the time. Think about how often, and maybe this isn't you, but at least I've seen this in myself and many other people. Think about how often you go throughout your day living in a sort of lack. Like, I don't have what I need. I need more money. I need to have a girlfriend. I need to have this. And so throughout the day, there's sort of this the day is sort of like tainted with this feeling that things just aren't quite enough. Like you're going throughout your day and day's fine, but there's this lurking but. Like this is fine, but man, if only I just had a little bit more. Like if only I was just surrounded by better people. Like there's this lurking feeling that things aren't really enough. So I'm going to tell you in this video how we can radically transform this because I can say from my own experience that when this starts to change and you work with this feeling of lack, it can actually have an inverted effect of your life just feels super peaceful. And even if you feel pain, which we will all feel pain, we start to have these qualities so that when we feel the pain, it's good. It's like what we need. It like helps us to grow. And when you do that, then you love what you love and you love what you hate. And you just start to become invincible. And it's completely life-changing if you can love pain because a lot of us try to like get rid of obstacles, but what we need to do is we don't want the obstacles to go away. We don't want the challenges of life to go away. What we want to do is bring ourselves to a state of being where no matter what we're faced with, we can handle it. Because then you're the king of your circumstances, you're the queen of your circumstances, instead of what happens with most people is like things don't go according to their plan, and then they're the victim. So if you can be in charge when there are obstacles, then you're invincible because they're going to be there either way. Okay, so let's talk about how to do this because when you do this and you become the king of your circumstances, then you basically shift your destiny. Because every time something happens, every time you're faced with an obstacle, you're basically like, your life is pre written. Everything is going to play out. So you can't change the script, but what you can do is go to a different movie. So this is talked about in Kabbalah, where like basically you're in a movie theater and you're watching your movie. There's certain reactions that happen, karmic relationships that go on, and every time something happens, it's just pre-written. But what you can do is shift to a different movie theater and change the movie theater so that you're in a different cinema and you're shifting destinies and you're shifting to the better movie. And what you can do is shift to the best movie ever. So yes, the movie is pre-written, but there's infinite movies. And what you want to do is shift into the best one. How do you do this? Well, you can only do this when you're triggered, when there's a reaction, or when there's darkness to transform. For example, um, if you drop your cup, like you're having some tea and you drop your cup and it's on the floor and you hear it crack. So you basically have two roads here. Either you're in this movie, this was pre-written, this was going to happen since the beginning of time, this was just exactly what was going to happen. So you can either be reactive and be like, oh my gosh, what is this happening? I gotta call the guy, and then I gotta call my family that this like family antique cup is broken and now I'm like super sad, and you get really reactive, you identify with it, and your consciousness is clearly coming from fear and coming from lack, and you give into it and you identify with it and that becomes your world. You're staying in the movie. As a matter of fact, you're actually like shifting into a negative movie, and you can go, the more you become reactive, maybe it's something else, like maybe you see the girl you like or the boy you like is with someone else, and then you get really reactive about that. You can shift into very lower and lower destinies if you become more identified like that. You become more and more identified, reactive, acting from fear, and then in the future you keep holding on to it, you can keep shifting into different movie theaters that are lower and lower and lower. The movies are all pre-written, but if you become reactive and you're like identified with it, you're just shifting into the lower destinies. Okay? But you can be pre-wet because this is being a victim of your circumstances. This was an obstacle, this was going to happen, but internally you were the victim. Now, let's say the T thing drops. I don't know why I'm using this example, but um, let's say that drops and you're like, oh, yes, this is good. I'm noticing lack and like frustration inside of myself. This is darkness. And that's where the light is. How can I experience the light if I don't transform the darkness? That's where the light is. So this is great. What a pleasure this is. This is wonderful, actually. I'm really glad this happened. Now I get to shift to a higher destiny. Okay, if this is your reaction, this is not reactive. This is proactive. You are the king of your circumstances. Challenges happen, obstacles happen, and when you have this consciousness behind what happens externally, then you were in a movie theater. You were watching a movie with a completely pre-written script and everything. But what you just did by having this proactive response to what just happened, you shift into a completely different movie. The challenges become much less overwhelming because if you the more you get into reactive and fear-based ways of dealing with your circumstances, then what happens is like the universe has to kind of work to make you realize that you're going down the wrong path because the creator wants you to connect to the light. The universe wants you to transform your darkness into light. So, for example, me, like a lot of my darkness is around self-pity. That's one of the main things I need to watch out for and pay attention. So the universe literally comes together so that this gets triggered within me. Because how else am I supposed to transform the darkness of that in my soul into light? So it's actually a gift that is like how that's working. But a lot of people don't understand that this is what's going on. These are the mechanics of what's happening. And instead they're like, oh my gosh, the universe is just trying to get me. Oh, how annoying. And then they shift into lower and lower destinies. But this is the universe completely helping, because how else are you supposed to transform if this doesn't happen? We can't just become completely connected to the light all of a sudden. It's like getting given a, a puzzle that's already been completed. You want to earn it, and you have to experience this and transform your reactive animal nature to connect to the light. So when something like that happens, and something, I'm using the example of like dropping like a teacup, but maybe it's seeing the person that you like on social media has another partner or something, and maybe that's your trigger. Or maybe it's someone making a rude comment to you, and that's your trigger. Whatever the trigger is, that is when you are in the position to either shift to a completely different movie, a movie with the best circumstances that are meant for your soul, where you're living from joy, you're living from love, you're attracting the best circumstances, and you're at the highest vibration, and you're light. Or if you are reactive, or if you keep identifying with it, and in the future you keep holding on to it, you can shift to a lower destiny. So this is how it works. So a lot of us actually like hold on to things, and we don't really like, if we aren't grateful for where we are now, then we're still holding on to something from the past, which means that there's still sort of that reactive nature. So even though maybe in the moment you did the best that you can do, if you're still holding on to it in the future, then that destiny can't entirely shift, because you have to be certain in exactly where you are, because that you're still holding on to darkness. So you need to transform that. So let's talk about how to do that. So maybe in your current day-to-day life, like you find yourself living in lack or living in fear, or there's some sort of belief that you have that's like really holding you back. Like maybe you feel like you don't deserve something, or maybe you want something, like you want to have a good career, or like you want to get into a new job, or like you want to get into a certain relationship, but there's still a part of you that's like comfortable with how things have been. Like for me, it was really difficult going into like trying out different paths of what to do with my life, because there was this a lot of identities around, well, this is not who I am. Like this is I'm the kid who was doing XYZ when I was growing up. This is not what I would do. So what we need to do is start we can't embrace the new as long as we are attached to these things. Like if I'm if my soul really wants to be a speaker or to be a painter, then how am I supposed to do that and live that reality if I'm still attached to this belief that I'm a dancer? That's all I am. That's who I am. Even if it's just a little bit, then how am I supposed to embody the new? A lot of people get lukewarm about it, and they think like, oh, it's okay. I still want to keep that belief because it's helping me. This is not helping you. If you really want to embrace the new, if you really want to switch or like do something that's true to your soul, as long as there's any sort of belief that is really identifying with the past, you can't do it, because there's just a little bit of blocking of energy that is preventing you from really embodying the new. So the first thing when it comes to like breaking your limiting beliefs is like there's no lukewarm here, okay? Like if if you want to do something but there's like a little bit of voice whispering, it's going to hold you back. It, so we have to like be okay with this concept of death, okay? Yes, like dying entirely to your limiting beliefs will serve you completely for the better. There's no other way for you to completely embrace the new if you're lukewarm about it. So stop being like half committed. If you want to break beliefs, you have to like realize that like yes, you will be breaking the entire belief system. Like you have to be okay with death. You can't be lukewarm. Like this is a huge thing with money. A lot of people feel guilt around money. You're like, I'm not allowed to have money. You're like, well, other people are suffering. Why should I have money? You could be just about there. Like you've broken almost all of your limiting beliefs. But as long as there's a little bit of voice telling you, like, I don't deserve this, I can't have this, that's gonna hold you back from like completely unblocking that flow of energy. It's like there's still the dam cannot be eradicated and the water can't flow through as long as that you still have that belief system. So what you want to do is break a every day we can work on this. You know, maybe you know what your limited beliefs are, but this can be overwhelming because a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, I probably have like so many limiting beliefs, like how am I going to tackle this? If you one just this is life changing. If every day you can just focus on breaking any belief, just one belief, just a little bit. Maybe it's something you're scared of. Maybe it's like something uh, really subtle. That's okay. This subtle breaking on a daily basis will really add up and make a huge difference. So let's think of an example here. If you want to break a belief about um, feeling like you don't deserve anything, or like it's hard for you to feel like you can receive, then just one thing you can do in a day is like do something for yourself and like experience what it's like to give yourself a treat. Like go go to some shop that you've like noticed one day when you were driving, and you thought to yourself, oh, I kind of want to go there. Like go there. Like break the belief that you don't deserve to do that and go there. Or if you usually make coffee in the morning and you make like really terrible coffee because you don't think you're allowed to have anything good, any treat, because that's irresponsible, that's not spiritual or something like that. Um, Go and get yourself like a nice coffee. And even if you don't have like a lot of money or you don't have a lot of resources, go and do it and embody the identity of an abundant person. God is abundant. The creator is abundant. This illusion that we don't deserve is completely limiting. So when you do it, you're going to feel like, oh, this feels weird. I don't deserve this. Like, why am I doing this? This is not allowed. People are literally suffering. Why am I doing this for myself? That's good. That's exactly what you need. You cannot break the belief until you consciously experience and transform it. You have to consciously experience it. So go get yourself something, go to a place you like, go to that shop that you've always wanted to visit or whatever it is. And when it feels weird and strange, that's perfect. You need to have complete certainty in that. And you need to experience that. And when that comes up, don't identify with it and like be reactive and, oh, I'm here, but I'm not really enjoying it. No, like if you want to be the king of your circumstances, experience that and enjoy it. And really like, I'm glad I'm experiencing this pain. And even if you don't like embody that right away, you'll start putting the energy out there. And this is going to completely shift your destiny. So break a belief, whatever you got to do this. For me, sometimes that has even been like recording a video. Like I have a limiting belief around like speaking, like people don't want to hear what I have to say. I'm not worthy, like things like this. So what do? I put myself out there a little bit, you know? Um, and when you have, this is how you build confidence. This will build your confidence. So you have to want to break your beliefs. You have to do something that will do it. Um, so that's the first thing. No, another thing you can do is this. We want to be connected to the light of the creator. This light is like the sun. It's giving. It's infinite sharing. Think about like a flame. When you light a candle, you can light infinite more candles with that one flame, because this is a very giving force. But the ego is not like this. The ego gives and feels very depleted. The ego does a favor because it wants something in return. It's very transactional because it's self-centered. And it's like you give something and you're just like, oh, I give so much and nobody cares for me. No, no, no. No, this is the ego. But if you can attach to the light, that's what we're trying to do here. Remember, we're trying to attach to the abundant, unlimited light. So the flame is giving. The flame gives. So how do we give like the flame? Well, you can do anything for people from a place of wholeness. That's all you got to do. Um, you can make something, just anything that will help you to tap into what it's like to be a giver, to be the sharing force, to be like the light. So you can like make a craft. You can make a collage. Just make something, like do anything creative, because when you do something creative, whether it's journaling, whether it's cooking, whether it's playing an instrument, whether it's recording a video, whether it's making a freaking poem, when you do something creative, it might feel weird in the beginning and it might feel like this is a complete waste of time. But that energy is so proactive, so protruding and infinite. Think about the sun. That's what this is. The sun is infinitely sharing. It's just gives, 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 gives. Does the sun pity itself and think, I'm giving too much, I gotta stop doing all this giving? No, this is not how the sun works. This is not how the flame works. If you want to tap into this fire that is so giving and sharing, then do it. Be that. And if you even just, anything to tap into this giving force, you can even just light a match and light another candle and meditate on that. Like, think about that. You'll tap into that energy of giving if you just light a candle and then light more candles with that candle. Just do that, and you'll start to feel that, and that'll bring up your vibration. Because when you're at this high vibration, you realize that it's so infinite and proactive. But when you're at a low vibration, you just want to see what you can get. Like, how do I get something for me? Um, it's when you're at a low vibration, you get sparks. You get sparks. You, like, for example, if you're angry, that's a low vibration, and you yell at someone, it feels great, and then you crash. If you're envious about someone, you make a mean comment to them, it feels great, and then you crash. But when you're at the high vibration, you just keep giving and giving and giving. It just feels very unlimited. So don't limit yourself. Anything you can do to tap into that. Do something creative, light some candles, whatever. Um, the last thing I'll say is do something in service of somebody else. Like, this is so simple. Anything to give to another person. Um, you can write someone a letter, like make a handwritten card to an old friend, to a family member, call a family member. Many of you watching this probably have an aunt or an uncle. If they saw your call, if they saw your name show up on their phone, they would literally just melt. And it's hard for us to see that when we're in a dense vibration. But when we start kind of move, it's okay. Like, it's okay. We come here with a lot of darkness, and it's okay that a lot of the day we feel these emotions. It's completely fine. But when you start putting in effort to move your way out of that, it feels super yucky, but then you start to feel much better. You know what? That's how it works. That's just the way the game. If you go to the gym, a lot of the times on the drive there, or like when you're thinking about going, it's just, oh, I don't feel like doing this right now. But you go and you do it, and you're like, wow, I'm really glad I did this. So you start moving into that. So you can write someone a letter. You can just give someone a compliment. This will help you embody the qualities of the creator. So these are the three primary things you want to, if you can implement any of this at any sort of scale, it won't matter if you have money, it won't matter if you have the relationship you want, because ultimately what you're seeking is the white light, the light of limitless freedom. It's not the physical relationship, it's not the physical feeling of money. Money is just paper. It's the energy behind it. So you want to just tap into the energy. Don't get so sucked into the material like form. These are the effects. Money is an effect, but the cause is the energy, the consciousness behind it. So you just need to tap into this consciousness, this very high vibration consciousness. And when you're living in lack, when you're living in fear, you're very identified with the form of things. I can look around here, around this room, and find something that will trigger me to feel like insecure and like I don't have enough. But if I shift my energy, I can see how abundant everything is. There's books all over me right here. There's so many books. How can I work with that to like just put myself in abundance mindset? Well, there's energy behind these books. Like, people have put passion into these books. There's words that are the product of the creative process. There's just plenty of it. There's infinite energy. Think about the energy behind that. Whatever book is the same energy associated with the infinite giving of the sun. There's infinite energy around me right now. Even one book, there's infinite energy in that, and there's like a dozens. Really? I'm gonna like not be grateful about where I am right now? Like, all you have to do is pick out anything and realize that there's infinite energy and consciousness behind it. But we can't see that as long as we're stuck with the form of it all. Okay, I'm talking a lot, so I'm gonna keep this simple. Break a belief and make something, tap into creativity, and do something in service for somebody. So this will drastically change your life, and this is not something that you're probably, there's people probably seeing like so much advice out there on YouTube and from spiritual people and business people and all of this, and really this is not giving you more advice. It's just like dumbing it down and distilling it into what is actually going on here, into what is this is why we study Kabbalah, because Kabbalah shows us the causes, not the effects. This is not looking at the specifics of like form and like how you can use certain techniques to make money or to manifest a specific partner. No. What we're focused on is the light of the creator, the light that is infinite consciousness, highest vibration, and everything crystallizes from there. You know, think about like a movie. You have a storyboard and then you have the movie. A lot of us get sucked into the CD, into the like the DVD or like the file that Netflix is playing, thinking that if we study that, we'll get the answers. But a movie is created from a storyboard. So we need to be, that is the cause of the movie. It started with an idea, which kind of the storyboard symbolizes, and then it crystallizes into an actual movie. It materializes. So the idea is where the higher vibrations are, the consciousness, that's where the higher vibrations are. Don't get stuck in the form, and think about what your level of being is and how can you raise that. So that's what I'm telling you in this video, because this is not more form, this is not more techniques like the rule of three in filmmaking. No, like tap into the consciousness. So I hope this is helpful and helps you with your destiny shifting so that you are the highest vibration you can be at all the time. No matter what you're feeling, you can still be at a high vibration. So a lot of people think that once they feel the anger, once they feel the self-pity, they're doomed. You're not doomed. That's what you need. You just need to be certain that that's what you need to be experiencing. So you have the awareness. A lot of people feel the feeling and then get sucked into the feeling. You still feel the feeling, but you have this lamp of awareness as you're feeling it. You really choose to feel it. So that this way, you're consciously transforming it instead of letting it get, if you don't understand it and try to escape it, the feeling is going to come back and it's going to manifest in more deceptive, perverted ways. So when you have the feeling, when you've experienced the darkness, great, because that's how you can consciously just nip it in the bud and like really transform your darkness into light. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.